got to get your reaction to this because I got to say my jaw dropped. Today, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, had this to say about Team Biden destroying in 11 days everything our troops and our taxpayers built in Afghanistan over 21 years. Listen.
There was nothing that I or anyone else saw that indicated a collapse of this army and this government in 11 days.
Don Jr., your reaction to his statement?
If he didn't see that, he should resign in disgrace. Okay, they handed over, they pulled out. Okay, don't forget, they pulled out all of the contractors that were fixing the supposed military aircraft for the Afghan fighting forces, right? They did that. On July 8th, Joe Biden literally said, this will not be another Saigon. And if you saw the video I posted on social, I mean, the two images, I mean, it's literally uncanny. The only difference is this is significantly worse than Saigon because we forgot about our actual civilian personnel first and foremost. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, Mark Milley, he's been so focused on teaching critical race theory and trying to really learn about white rage. He wants to learn about white rage. It'd be nice if he actually focused on actually winning wars, on actually getting our guys back, not on risking life and limb to enrich the military-industrial complex so that he can eventually get a board at Raytheon, and that's his retirement package. Because that's exactly what our military brass has done for the last few decades. They keep us in endless wars. It's a tax on our children and our grandchildren. They leveraged our country to the hilt, and they're going to put it all in their pockets in the end. That's how this game has been played. There's a reason why D.C. is one of the richest zip codes anywhere in America, and yet they produce absolutely nothing. It's because of guys like that. So if he didn't see this coming, and he couldn't have predicted this, and they didn't think to maybe go with Trump's plan, which had actually thought about these things, it's not like they didn't have 20 years to get it right, Chris. This has been 20 years in the making. And if he doesn't see that this could have perhaps gone wrong for Biden to try to get his vote up, if he couldn't see that, what the hell is he doing in that job? He should go back to learning about critical race theory. He should go back to learning about white rage. He should take his retirement and spend lots of time learning about these things that, by the way, no one has ever even heard of prior to a guy like him bringing it to a world stage, right? This is like made up nonsense as far as I'm concerned, right? But he's got to talk about it because it pays to be woke in D.C. He's gonna get a professorship. He's gonna get board seats. He's gonna be rich as hell for being a total incompetent.
And Biden was out there saying that they planned for every contingency except for what happened. Look, I got to
every contingency except for literally any of them.
Yeah, that's right. I got to combine two questions here. I got to say, I really enjoyed your retweet of the Babylon Bees headline that said that perhaps Donald Trump should bypass the filters over at Twitter. There it is, it's up on the screen. He sneaks back on Twitter by disguising himself as the Taliban spokesperson, as Twitter says, oh yeah, we can have terrorists on. And not the former president of the United States. But I wanted to ask you this question because in all earnestness, I want to get your reaction to not only social media, but the biased press. Hunter Biden, he's in a hotel room with a prostitute discussing how the Russians stole one of his 3 laptops. The mainstream press has ignored this. Now, Don Jr., I just got to ask you, if this were you or Eric, do you believe the press would have gone radio silent and not put this on the air and not made this a major story for weeks on end?
Listen, they made a major story for years on end saying that I had committed treason. Now, when you look at the Hunter Biden laptop or laptops, because I guess there's 3 of them now, I'm pretty sure, Chris, there's not a country on earth that is our enemy that doesn't have a Hunter Biden laptop with compromising information. There's 50 things that we've seen. I'm sure there's a lot more, but any one of them would have been totally disqualifying if it was Donald Trump Jr. They would have lost their minds. And I'm not even talking about, taking $1 billion from China and dealing with Russian oligarchs with ties to human trafficking and prostitution rings and, no-show jobs on Ukrainian energy companies when the big guy's in charge. None of those things. I mean, the crack, the prostitution, all of these things. If I'd have done one of those things, it would have been over for myself. It would have been over for my father. And as far as these guys are concerned, it was Russian disinformation, even though the, Hunter himself and Joe Biden never even denied that any of these things are real. But you have Hunter on tape saying the Russian mob has my laptop and they could use it against my father and his administration. That is not troubling to them. But because I had a conversation set up by the DNC with someone before we were even in politics, we went through 5 years of he committed treason and this and, hours and hours and hours of testimony, not because I did anything wrong, but because they're hoping that maybe I confuse something. Maybe I make a little error. Yep. The meeting was at, I believe, 12:02. Nope, it was 12:03. You lied and you perjure himself. Where's Adam Schiff? Where's the tinfoil hat brigade in Congress that led the charge on Russian collusion? Because if they really cared, you would think that Hunter's own admission, his own admission that the Russian mob may use the laptop on his deviance, on his absolute sickness against his father. And by the way, when you look at what's going on in our foreign policy, you wonder. I mean, Joe Biden gave Vladimir Putin a pipeline. He's got a pipeline.
Don,
Nord Stream 2, no problem. We held it off for years. But Americans can't have a pipeline, so our energy prices go through the roof. Energy independence goes down the drain. You have to wonder. You have to wonder if our enemies are already leveraging Joe Biden because of it, because the decisions he's making seem like they're putting America last. You saw what they did. That my father put up a statement about
Don, I'm up against the clock, man. I got to scoot. I've got no more time left, but man, like I said, I could do this with you for an hour.
I could do this for hours.
Appreciate
Chris.
the time.
I could do it for hours.
I know you can. Thank you, man. Appreciate the time as always. We'll talk again soon.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.